Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's session. We have the wonderful and amazing Tracy. Hi, Tracy. She is a bookkeeper who owns Ironbark Bookkeeping. She has 15 years' experience. She's registered with BAS. She is with the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, and these are the things that I would look for if I'm looking for a bookkeeper. As someone who's been a bookkeeper, I sort of know, yeah, that one is just that little bit more than some of the others. So you can be certified with some, and it just means you've paid the money, which is good, and they'll help you out if you need it. And you're certified with others, and you have to meet criteria. So when you've got the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, you have to meet criteria. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that you're looking for. She also loves the outdoors and music and dance, and why something like that is important if you're looking for a bookkeeper is to make sure you can have a connection. I too love music and dance. So there's a connection. So that's what you're looking for. You can't guarantee that that makes you the absolute perfect fit, but you've got something, you've got a starting base. So if you, and I will share Tracy's page and her website, and you can go and look up more details to see how you fit. But what I've got Tracy here for, and thank you so much, Tracy, for coming, is I've got questions for her. So, Tracy, is there anything you'd like to share from the beginning?
I don't think so. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited for this, actually. It's been a little while since I've been on a podcast. So yes, no, I'm very excited for it. I am very passionate about helping all of my clients as well. So yeah,
I think people sometimes underestimate how important a bookkeeping service is. So that is why we are here today.
it is, yes.
So the first question, and this is one I get a lot, especially because sometimes the person I've been a bookkeeper for had their wife doing it beforehand, and they go, "So, how can a bookkeeper help me?"
Yeah. I get that a lot as well, as you could imagine, because yeah, they're like, but it's just a matter of clicking a button. The program does it all for you, which to a degree, they are very intuitive these days, but they don't actually do it all for you. They'll suggest stuff, but it's not always right. So what a bookkeeper can help you do is help you to reduce your workload so that when you've been out all day doing the thing that it is that you do, you then don't have to come home at night and sit down and do all of your data entry, your reconciliations, your BAS, whatever it is that needs to be done at night. If it's not your thing, it's really, really hard. We also work on making sure that your records are accurate. So whilst we can get all of the feeds and everything into your Zero File, your Mail, QuickBooks, whatever program you're using from the bank, sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they duplicate the transactions, sometimes they miss a day. So as bookkeepers, we're making sure that everything is coming through correctly. We're going to reconcile your accounts every month to make sure that those errors, if there are any on the bank's end, have been picked up. And if you're registered with GST or if you've got payroll staff or anything like that, we are going to ensure that everything is staying compliant, that you're meeting your deadlines as well. So yeah, definitely it just helps to reduce your stress by knowing that somebody else is looking after it and is running I guess, another set of eyes over everything to make sure that it's all correct.
I think people underestimate how much passion can sometimes need to have to be applied to find $2.27 that went missing maybe 3 months ago
Yeah,
through your reconciliation. Like that is just no, how? And that is why you don't want to be that person. If you don't want to be that person looking for that, then you
yeah,
need to be able to have someone who can do that and be thorough. And especially with BAS, there's so many people I see who get so in a muddle. Like a BAS form for you and I, it's pretty simple. There's sort of some key areas, but you need to know. You need to know what those areas are and why they go in, and when you do or don't. Like, for example, your telephone bill may have some parts that are GST and some parts that aren't.
absolutely. Your
Hands up, who knew
insurance
that?
is another one as
Yep.
well. There's always a portion of your insurance that doesn't have GST and things like that. So yeah, it is there is just those little nuances, knowing what has GST, what doesn't, what actually gets included in the GST report, because not everything does either.
That's right. That's right. So I think when people go, oh, but you're just pressing buttons and putting things in, you're like, ha 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 ha. Yes, but we know
Eventually,
which buttons to press when.
yes, that's the one.
So my next question for you is, what am I looking for when I think I need a bookkeeper? Like, how would I know actually I need a bookkeeper now?
Okay, so there are a few different things that are going to trigger you to know when you're going to need a bookkeeper. When you don't want to do it yourself anymore is a really, really good one. So if you just dread doing it, probably a good time to speak to somebody about how they can help you. And they can do as little or as much as you want them to do. If you still want to have control, you're still going to do your invoicing. You might still want to do your data entry, but you don't want to do your monthly reconciliations. You don't want to do your BAS. Then outsource that. The other time is if you simply just don't have time, then you know that, okay, it's like any task within your business. Like, it's a really hard thing to hand over. Any task in your business is a really hard thing to hand over to somebody else to do, an employee or a contractor. So it's about, I guess, taking that leap and having that trust that somebody else is going to look after it the way you want it looked after as well. So definitely, if you're really dreading it or if you don't have time. But what you should be looking for then, when you do decide that, okay, I need some help with this, you do need, if you're going to go with a contractor, you do need to make sure that they're a registered BAS agent. And you can check that with the Tax Practitioners Board. It's a public register. But you also need to make sure that they're a good fit for you. So just because, your mate down the pub has somebody else and recommends them, which is great, it doesn't mean that they're going to be the right person for you. Reach out to a few different bookkeepers and have a conversation with them. Have them, call them up, have a Zoom, whatever. Find the one that's the right fit for you. They might not be the cheapest, they might not be the most expensive, but you need to find somebody that is going to click with you and understands your business as well, because it may not necessarily be the first person you speak to.
No, I was just about to say some bookkeepers specialize in certain types of businesses
Yes.
and they don't specialize in others. So if you have type A and they're a bookkeeper for type B, it's not going to be a fit no matter how much you connect on all the other things and how wonderfully qualified they are. So yeah, that can be really, you're like,
That's
oh,
right. And yeah, I get that as well. I get a few inquiries and I'm like, look, I don't work in your industry, but I'll reach out to my connections, I'll find some referrals, and I'll get back to you as well. So I'm not just going, no, sorry, I can't help you.
yes.
I'm going to give you a few other names and say, here, look, here's some people that work in your industry. Reach out to them and see if any of them can help you.
Yeah. And it's just starting the journey.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you start on the journey, you're like, oh, this is someone I can connect with, well, then at least the journey will continue because that person's more than likely to come back to you and go, hey, try this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so now this is a big one for me, mainly because I've worked with so many accountants and I so know it from this side. Like, how can I help my bookkeeper? Because do you want me just to bring a big basket full of invoices and drop them on your desk? Are you happy for it to be a laundry basket? Is that what you're after? I always ask this question of anyone who I'm going to work with. Now, how do you want me to work with you?
Yeah. So for me, I like, and a lot of other bookkeepers I know, like, we love automation and we will utilize it as much as possible. So I have programs that I use. There's Dext, there's HubDoc, there's Easy Bills, there's a few others around where you can upload all of your invoices to that particular program. They usually either have an app on your phone, you can drag and drop if they're on your computer, or an email address that you can email your documents through to. And once you've put them in there, you don't have to do anything with them. I'll look after them. What they do then is we'll extract the date, the supplier, the account code, the amounts, the GST, all of those sorts of things. and it'll send it over to your accounting program and put it through as a bill there ready, to be matched. So the advantage of that is it keeps you an electronic copy in that program. It also sends through an electronic copy as a PD into your accounting program. So when you come to do your BAS or your tax at the end of the year, then you don't have to remember what you did 9 months ago because the accountant wants to know, oh, what's this for? Hopefully the invoice is already attached to it. And so that is helpful. I do get clients that I've just caught one up recently who gave me a couple of folders full of lots of receipts. I have a nice trusty scanner that I just go scan everything, send it through. So finding out how they want to get your documents is a good way to go. And then actually uploading them, and don't go, yep, I can do this. And then there's nothing, you're not sending any information through. Responding to queries in a timely manner is usually quite helpful as well. I know most bookkeepers usually have set days where they'll go, okay, on this day, I'm going to do data entry for this client and bank reconciliations or whatever. So if you're not getting back to them in time, then likely you're going to get shifted then to the next week when you're back on their schedule.
Yep.
The other one that is really, really helpful is don't use your business account as though it's your personal account and use it for everything. What I try and get my clients to do, if they're not taking a wage, is to transfer a lump sum every week. Whether it's $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is, do one transfer every week and into their personal account and use that, because that's going to save us a lot of time so that we're not filtering through all of the personal transactions.
Yes. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because I started bookkeeping 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was before it was as snazzy as it is now. So
It,
I would
yeah.
have to fight people for credit card invoices and little no, I need that receipt. You see how
Yes.
you paid that? I need that. It's like magic. And if it's over $75 and it's GST and I've got to work it out. So yeah, it amazes me what the world can do now, and the fact that you can say if you got Xero or MyOb, you can put the invoice next to the actual purchase. That is all just amazing and wonderful.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have your own personal set of those, because if you go from Xero to MyOb to whatever new fandangled one there is, you may lose some of that. So you want to hold on to that. And
Yes.
I always think, because it's been such a long time for me, and because I have used like a folder with the month on it and said, look, just put your invoice in there, that'd be great. I love to learn, and I would love to, like, if I had a bookkeeper, I would want to know, how do you want me to work with you now? I can work with you like it was 20 years ago, but I don't think that would be as helpful as we need it to be.
No, no, it's absolutely not. Like, technology has come a long way, and it's really, really good for that and for the connection and helping, basically helping us get the information that we need from you.
Yeah, no, it's just amazing and wonderful now. Now,
Yes.
the last one is a big one. So
Okay.
let's see how we go. But what reporting should my bookkeeper be able to provide to me?
Okay. So that is a good one.
It is.
My first thing that I will say is it doesn't really matter what reports your bookkeeper gives you if you don't understand what they say. So I'm very big on that. I always tell my clients, especially when they start with me, if I'm sending you reports and you don't know what they mean, ask me, because there's no point me doing it if you're not looking at it because you don't know how to read it. So first up, if you don't understand them, reach out to your bookkeeper and say, hey, I've got questions. Can you explain it to me? Can you tell me what it means? But once you understand them, what you should be getting, so your bookkeeper should be doing your bank reconciliations every month. So matching what's in your accounting system to your bank statement and doing a reconciliation report to make sure everything's balancing and correct. From that, you should be able to get a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet at a minimum from your bookkeeper each month. And then depending on, I guess, the engagement that you've got with your bookkeeper, any cash flow statements or budgeting reports and things that you might have in place as well, which is obviously dependent on your business as well, and yeah, how much work you've engaged the bookkeeper to do. But absolutely, your profit and loss and balance sheet are invaluable, and they do need to be read in conjunction with each other, because as much as we like to see the profit figure at the bottom of the profit and loss, well, hopefully it's a profit figure. Usually it's not the amount that's in the bank account, which is really disappointing. It's disappointing for me too, don't worry. um, and so they're the main things that you should be getting. Usually what I try and do is I package everything in a report together and send it off to my clients so that they've got it all in one package. And I try and give them a bit of an overview as well, so that I'll look at it and go, okay, well, I'm comparing it to either the quarter or the month, and I'll let them know, oh, this month you've spent heaps more on your advertising than you did last month, or this time last year, or you know this year sales have dropped, what's changed, that sort of thing. So I do try and give a bit of an overview so that they sort of know what things they need to be looking at in the reports as well.
Yes, otherwise they become a read-only document.
They do.
And there's
And
no point.
and that's right. And I have also some of my clients don't like reading a lot of numbers on a page.
Yeah.
So I have also sometimes I'll convert depending on the client, I'll convert them and send them in graphs.
Yep.
Because I know that they'll get looked at if they look pretty. So
And there's nothing like a picture that goes either meow or ee to go,
yes.
okay, something's happening.
What's happening, and that will prompt the conversation as well. So it's, as long as it doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you're getting the information in a format that you understand,
Mhm.
and that you're actually going to look at and read.
And I've had a lot of times, if I'd put through a profit and loss, mainly this is a charity, and I'd put through the profit and loss, and I'd get questions like, well, what was this, and what was this, and what was this? And it was so awesome when it turned to software where I could go, and that account has these invoices in it. Ta-da!
Yes.
And they go, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And you go, yeah.
Yeah. I literally just did that today. A client emailed me and said, back in August, what was this account had this much in it? What was it for? I'm like, oh, look, that's what it's for. It was nice and quick and easy. I'm like, you paid this.
And then it's just amazing, and it's just wonderful, and it's fabulous. And that's why you need someone who's looking at that aspect of your business,
Yes.
because otherwise it all sort of goes out into the ether, out into the world. I've bought stuff, I've spent stuff, yay, it looks like I've got, like you said, some money in my bank account. It's not as much as I was expecting. Why is that happening? So all those things, to have someone who's watching that for you is such a gift. And rather than just going, but it's just data entry, isn't it? You can go, no, hold on. There's a bigger picture, and that person has that bigger picture all in their head. That's what your bookkeeper has. They have that all in their head. And when you go, why doesn't the picture look like I think it should look? That's what that person will do for you. They will go, this is why. And I think that's truly the gift that is sometimes not aware. Because honestly, until you have that moment where you're like, why isn't this working? It can sometimes, or why isn't that what I expected? It can sometimes be really hard to appreciate what you've got and why you should value it. So, Tracy, was there anything else that you would like to share with all of your years of experience?
I guess the main thing is just reaching out and having a conversation, even if you're not quite at the point of hiring a bookkeeper. Reach out, touch base. You don't know, maybe you think it's too expensive. So have the conversations and find out. And they might be able to do as little as just, some support for you. as well. So, you don't necessarily have to have somebody logging in every day or every week. If you're happy to do it yourself, but you just think, oh, sometimes I've got questions, but I don't know who to ask, find a bookkeeper that you can connect with and start there. They'll charge you for ad hoc support or something like that, but
At
it's
least
better
you
to
get
have
support.
somebody that you can reach out to and ask the questions than to get it wrong, I guess, and, have some potential errors. And then as you're building up that trust or your business grows, then you might go, yeah, okay, I'm done. And you've already got the relationship then with the bookkeeper. You're not starting from scratch trying to find somebody that you trust to hand over your stuff to.
Especially when you're in crisis mode.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's really key. Tracy, I can't thank you enough for today. I think it's just been brilliant. Thank you so much for answering these questions because I know a lot of the people who I work with ask me these questions sometimes. And because I'm not bookkeeping, I can't go, oh, well, I can help you. All I can go is I can get answers for that. And that's when I found you. Fabulous.
No problem. Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you.